So in Matthew 23, they said there, right? The disciples are asking, when is this going to happen? When are we, when is the signs of your coming, right? And so in Matthew 24:7 says, for nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. So that's what is happening exactly right now, right? So what do we do as people of God, right? Okay, so this is a pestilences. We just went through COVID, right? So can you believe that COVID itself doesn't kill you? Hardly. 97% of death is because they have another disease, a coexisting disease. That's what is killing you. So what do we do at this time? Remove all the diseases that we have, so when the pestilence comes, they will survive well, right? So that's what the problem is. And see, the comorbidities, what are they? Hypertension. Most of people that ended up hospitalized, number one is high blood pressure. Number two is cholesterol and lipidemia, it's called. And then third is obesity. So a lot of people with obesity don't make it. Once they go in the hospital, they get intubated, they don't make it. And they're young people, and it's sad. So then it's diabetes, and it's all these common diseases, heart diseases, all lung diseases. So this is the comorbidity. So for these times, we have to help people, help ourselves to remove these conditions, these comorbidities, and then we will be okay. And we eat, of course, we're gonna get rid of these comorbidities eating healthy, right? So we're gonna go over that. But I just wanna go really quick. Look at that. Young people, 120% increase in risk of death when obese and hospitalized. 120%. Okay. All right. Can you see it? It's very small. Okay. So look at this. Plant-based for people that ate vegetarian, plant-based, 70% less chance to have, COVID issues. But if you eat fish, it's 51%. But if you eat high protein, low, the keto diet, 286% comorbidity. You can die because you eat that way. See, the plant-based, is minus 73%. So this is just so amazing. Okay, I just want to show you here one client that we were seeing. He had inflammation. So if you see markers of inflammation is CRP. CRP he had in November this was last year. His inflammation was 21 and normal is -8. Guess what? In 3 weeks following the healthy diet went to 3.2. That's normal. 3 weeks. And then he had also thyroid issues. So there is this test that showed that you have a lot of inflammation. They call antibodies. They were 245 and they went down to 199. So usually the doctor's gonna tell you, no, the TPO can never go down, never. But in the case in 3 weeks was down, right? So so what do we do? What are the foods that are affecting us the more? What are the foods that are making us sick? And that's what we're gonna see, and then we're gonna see the foods that make us healthy, help us recover. So this is question.
Yes. Do you have anything with this written on it for us, or just what you have on PowerPoint?
You're interested in the PowerPoint? You can have it. Yeah.
You send it to
I can.
Gmail.
Sure. So you'll give me your email, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing. 58% of food consumed in US is ultra processed. And not just processed, it's ultra processed. You can be plant-based, vegan, eating ultra processed foods. So you're gonna be as sick as the other people. Most of the people that come to the lifestyle center, they are vegan. And they're healthy eaters, but they're very sick. as sick as. So it's not just not eating meat, but it's the ultra processed. That's the problem. So we're gonna see what are the. I didn't put it here. I have. Okay, it's coming. So what is ultra processed? You know what they do? They remove the foods the way it is, the way God created, and they remove pieces of it, right? They call it fractions. And they put chemicals in it, so they change it. They put additives, so it's not the same. And they keep putting a lot of oil. There is no food that you buy processed that's not gonna have oils and salt or oils and sugars. There's no ultra food. Every ultra food that you're gonna eat have that. And then what else? They put synthetic material. And then they added cosmetic additives to make it look good. Colors, and looks so attractive, so you buy it. So that's what we're eating when we buy food that are pre-made. That's why, we travel with our food. We prepare it not hard, because we used to, a little, we prepare for this trip was, okay, we're gonna eat lentils, lima beans, and quinoa, amaranth. So we had a couple of each one put in, whatever we put in it, onion powder, garlic powder, a little salt, and for breakfast we put carob and coconut powder and milk, which is pure. That I found one, and and I put sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, so makes a tasty, even traveling, a tasty meals, and things like that. But it's nothing about synthetic of anything. It's just the real thing. There's such a thing that's, God created foods, and now they're not foods anymore. There's something with food. So look at this. What are the ultra processed foods? Breads. So the ultra processed are breads. Unless you buy it in the frozen department, because they put chemicals, right? The bread lasts a long time. You don't even have to put it in the refrigerator. You buy it just in the shelves. Why? Because they have chemicals to last. So there's some places you can buy healthy breads, but for the most part, most people buy just regular bread that are ultra processed. And then what else? Cakes, cookies, and pies, that are ultra processed. What do they have? They have a lot of butter to make it taste good. Butter and milks and sugars in large amounts. And the combination, Sister White said that the combination is a poison. But that's what we eat. Then we have salty snacks. What are the salty snacks? Chips. Who doesn't eat chips? You cannot survive without chips or live without chips. You have to have the crunch, right? But this is not from, this is sources, this information is from the medical literature that has been, PubMed.com is where all the medical literature goes. That comes from there. What is it? The chips. The chips. What happened with the chips is to make it tasty, they put oil. So it's a fried food, and then they put it's a fat, and then they put some type of corn that has a little has carbohydrates and also have some protein, right? But when you bake the protein and fat at the same time, it creates this super high content that's called AGE. It is AGE. You Google it. What is AGE? That's gonna make you sick. People that have these kids, autistic kids, very high AGE. People that have the worst diseases, the more sick you are in pain, you have very high IgE. Parkinson's disease, very high IgE. So you can be plant-based, but you're frying foods, right, that are protein and fat. So what is protein and fat? That's nuts. Nuts have protein and fat. Same thing, meat. Meat has a protein and fat. So you bake it in dry conditions, so fry it or outside barbecue it, super high AGE. So that is what is destroying our health. So that is what chips do. So some people said, I found these that are better. So I always read it. I gave up reading labels because I cannot find anything that is not ultra processed. Then what else? Frozen and shelf stable plant meals. So this lady came to our church and she said, she's plant-based and she got very sick with COVID. So I was helping her to survive. You know, we took oxygen, just coach her what to eat. We took juices and onion broths and garlic drinks, and you know, and she survived. So she came to the church and she said, you know, I do everything right, but I think God just wanted to test me, right? But I was doing everything right. I'm plant-based, and so I present this message, but it was long with many details. And she, at the end, she came and she was crying. I did everything wrong. And so it was many things. No exercise. You know, you more chance to die. Huge difference to die if you don't exercise, if you get COVID. And this is going with other conditions. You have big time if you eat ultra-processed foods. And then she was eating plant-based. I don't know, there's a name of plant-based that you just put it in the oven, in the microwave, and you eat. That's ultra-processed. It's plant-based. She was eating that because she didn't have time to cook, and because she had to travel like 2 hours to stay there in her car while she works, you know. But so she wasn't sleeping early, overworking. So she realized, oh, I'm doing everything wrong. You know, there's a reason why we're sick, right? And you know, we've been sick too, and we recover. So that's why we're passionate about health and helping others to recover. And another thing is soft drinks, pizza, fruit drinks. You know, the fruits, we eat the fruit. We don't drink the fruit. And on top of that is processed. They put chemicals so it lasts for a while. So I used to make fresh fruit, juices, thinking, okay, this is great, right? Yeah, but it's concentrated sugar that affects the pancreas. You know, we're supposed to eat with the fiber to be a good food. So then we have here breakfast cereals. You know, they put a lot of additives and chemicals. So we're supposed to make our own cereal, cook our own cereal in order to be healthy. Then we have the sauces, dressing, gravies. They are super high in AGE. Then we have sweet snacks, ice creams, and you can do your own ice cream at home. That is healthy also. But these ice creams have more stuff than the food. And then we have milk-based drinks that they come, and they can be non-dairy, and they come in plastics. You know, all the leaching or the BPA that's linked to cancer and autoimmune disorders. So you can make your own milk. It's very simple. You just, you know, blend it. 1 cup of soaked walnuts with 4 cups of water. That's it. You blend it, and that's your milk. You can make a different type of milks in a very simple way. And then you have desserts, of course. They're very ultra-processed. You buy the desserts unless you make it at home. Then the French fries also. Very, very high in AGE. And then the sandwich and bird hamburgers, instant and canned soups. So that's why we need to just go back the way God created our foods in order to recover. Because right now, God needs us to be strong and healthy to keep helping other people, right? Because what did Jesus do when he came to this earth? What did he do? He healed people. He did more healing than preaching. So, you know, we have a lot of work to do. God has so much work for us to do. You know, you won't believe, we're bombarding of emails. You know, David manager me is writing levels like hundreds, thousands a month of emails, people that are sick, that need help. So that's why we're training medical missionaries, because we're not enough people to help. And so this is a work that God has given us for end time. They said, there's a passage from Sister White that said that, you know, at the end time, all the jobs are going to be gone, but the field of the medical missionary is going to be until the end. So this is where we're going to support ourselves still when there's no jobs anymore. So this is a blessing, and we're going to be blessing other people while we do this work. Okay, so I'm going to go first here, and then I'm going to go back to the super healing foods. Okay, this is what is to eat a healthy food, okay? So you need to have, okay, that's the key. That's the key for, this is a balanced plant-based, because you can eat, right, an inflammatory plant-based, you can eat a very unbalanced plant-based and get sick. It has to be balanced, it has to be anti-inflammatory, and it has to be, there's one more, no chemicals, you know, and so non-processed that we've been talking about. Okay, so you should have berries every day. So berries for breakfast. You have other fruits, and that goes for breakfast every day. And tell you exactly here how much. Then you should supposed to have omega-3 every day. If you don't have omega-3, there is another omega, it's called omega-6. If the ratio is not right, you ended up with a lot of inflammation. Just because you don't eat enough omega-3 or you eat too much omega-6. Omega-6 are oils, and omega-3 is the, anybody? Omega-3?
Fish oil.
Okay, so we're talking about plant-based. So what will be in the plant-based omega-3? Flaxseed. Yeah, flaxseed and chia seed. So you're supposed to have flaxseed and chia seed in your breakfast every day. If you are post-menopause, you're supposed to have 4 tablespoons so you don't have flashes. For men, so in order for them to avoid prostate cancer, they're supposed to have 2 tablespoons, right? And then 1 to 2 tablespoons. Pre-menopause ladies, 2 tablespoons. And then decrease oils. We don't eat any oils because we have it's omega-6 is also in the sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. So if you make the ratio right, you eliminate disease. So a lot of people are not eating any omega-3, so we end up with inflammation.
So is it bad to take a supplement, a fish oil pill?
Well, we want to do the best to give us the best chance, following the principles that God has given us for end times, and that would be no meat sources. So we do, we have the food is less expensive and it has fiber, so it's more effective. The flaxseed is more effective than the oil because the oil also is contaminated with mercury from the ocean. So we want to give the best chance. So that's what we do with our clients that come to us very sick and they recover in short time. So then we have pseudograins. Pseudograins or grains, the best nutritious grains, pseudograins are quinoa, cañiwa. I don't know if you heard cañiwa. I do eat cañiwa. I'm from Peru. We eat cañiwa, quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat, super grains. They make us super great, super tasty cereals. So we put our coconut milk and your cereal that we cook, and then we put our berries. I like a little molasses. I put it in good and rich in iron, and then I make my smoothie for my berries and for my other fruits. Put sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, because they have these nutrients, zinc and things like that you need. And then we have our bread that we make our own bread that is very simple, but it is good, and our own butter. That's our breakfast. So here you have your cereals are going to be the pseudograins or grains, and then you have the fatty acid seeds that we use as the sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Then we have legumes. Legumes, we should have legumes every day. Legumes are very anti-inflammatory, has a lot of fiber, so we should have a legume every day, and we should rotate it because every legume has a different nutrition, right? Legumes are not the same as beans, or it's not lima beans. They have different chemical components that are good for our health, vitamins and minerals. So we rotate them. We don't eat the same thing, oats. People come to our lifestyle center, they have oats and they are sick because they're having everything. Okay, so then we have cruciferous. We're supposed to have half a cup every day. What are the cruciferous? Anybody? So the cruciferous, broccoli, kale. Yeah, all those are the cruciferous. Yeah, so those are the cruciferous, and then we have every day we're supposed to have half a cup. Greens, that's the greens. The lettuce and parsley and cilantro. We put to our salad all those greens, they're green onions, things like that. Supposed to have a lot of that. My salad is this big. So, and I enjoy because I put a good amount of avocado and salt and lemon. And then we're supposed to have other vegetables, like yucca, sweet potato, carrots, all sorts of vegetables. And then we have spices, turmeric. That is a superfood, super healing food. So we have turmeric every day, 2 teaspoons. I have it in my breakfast with a little of my smoothie. And then the anti-infectives, these are the super healing foods, is garlic, onion, things like that. So I'm done with this. I'm gonna just have a few more minutes because we're running out of time. I'm gonna go over the healing foods really quick. So one super healing food is the let's see. Okay, garlic. We're supposed to have garlic, 2 cloves of garlic each meal when you're sick, and when you're not sick, at least 2 cloves of garlic. That we will, because they're like the best thing to keep the bacteria in check. Because we're sick because we have a lot of bad bacteria. It's very unbalanced, so that's why we're sick. So if you keep with the garlic, kill the bad bacteria and build the good bacteria, so then the bacteria, the flora, is gonna be good. So we call it the microbiome. So garlic is a super healing food that we're supposed to have it every day, and this is our recipe. So 2 cloves of garlic with juice of, it's 1 tablespoon of juice or lemon, and then 4 cups of water. 4 ounces. So we blend it and we drink it with a meal. So if some, like this lady that has ALS, she eats 3 times a day. She eats 1 of these each meal. You know.
Can you say it again? 2 cloves, 1 tablespoon of lemon. It's up there.
Yeah. So that's what we do. That's one of the super healing foods. And then the next super healing foods, you know, we have a lot of science to back up all this, but today, you know, it's a short run, so I'm just giving you the highlights. So the other super healing food is onion. Onion, very, very important. You know what we do for this lady have ALS? 3 cups of broth, of onion broth. So 1 big onion, the ones that is selling in Costco, we cook it with 3 cups of water and a little salt, and 8 cloves of garlic, mashing. Just that. Drink the liquid all day. And I do that.
Is there difference in the onion, like yellow or white or purple?
The yellow or the red are good. So that's the recipe. But she does 3 times this because you know, and I do that a lot of the times. I drink that because it gives me energy, keeps the inflammation down. It's super anti-inflammatory. As simple like that. Okay, then we have another one. Okay, that's another the study that we're showing. That's the recipe that you're there. And now we have turmeric. Turmeric is the #1 anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-infective, anti-everything. It's just amazing. So we should have 2 teaspoons a day. And here's our recipe. No, that's the garlic. That's the turmeric. Okay, so that's the recipe for that. So very simple, right? This is just healing foods. That's all it is. So I'm just gonna share 2 more passages and we're gonna be done. That's the ALS lady. That's a picture. Now she's able to cross her legs and things like that. Before she couldn't do that. One of the pictures was that she couldn't get up from the chair. Now she gets up by herself. So that was a super blessing. So those are actually videos that she's shown, but somehow don't work. But see, that's when she's sitting trying to get up. Okay. This is our time. Look at that. In new fields, no work is so successful as medical missionary work. If our ministers would work earnestly to obtain an education in medical missionary lines, they would be far better fitted to do the work Christ did as a medical missionary. And that's the medical ministry 239. Another thing, and this is not just for the pastors, this is for everybody. Look at this. We have come to a time when every member of the church should take a hold of the medical missionary work. The world is a laser house filled with victims of both physical and spiritual disease. Look at that. This is a passage for these times. We are told that in time of trouble, there will be sick ones, plenty of them, that will need help. We have helped thousands of people with COVID. I haven't heard people that died following this. We had a protocol. You can go medmissionary.com and there is a free protocol that you can just download it. There will be sick ones, plenty of them that will need help. So because of the need, but also for their own sake, they should, while they have opportunity, become intelligent in regard of disease that causes prevention and cure. And those who will do this will find a field of labor everywhere. Praise the Lord. God is gonna be faithful, giving us work. So the Israelites, what happened? They were rebellious for how many years? And then they wanted the meat. But finally, they died. And but the people that made it, look at that. Psalms. Sorry, I'm just gonna read it. Psalms 105:37. He brought them forth also with silver and gold. He blessed them, right? Financially too. And there was not one feeble person among their tribes. That's when they entered into the Canaan, right? So now we're in the borders of the real Canaan, right? So now it's our time to get ourselves healthy and strong to be able to be a blessing to humanity. Because that's the word that God has given us. Seventh-day Adventist people, the richest message that can ever exist. And how can I say? What doctors cannot do, the more sophisticated doctors from Harvard and from all these cannot do, the health message is doing with something very simple. These simple things that I just shared are all from God. Using these super healing foods are so simple to use. So, that's why we train our medical missionaries. So what we train is, okay, how you do an assessment. You have to find out where they're sick. And then we show these medical missionaries how to apply this as a menu that is very specific. That's how you eat for breakfast, for lunch, and exactly the recipes. And then what do you do with the super healing foods? How do you apply those? So we teach them how to do that. We teach them how to do natural remedies, how to do very simple, nothing with toxics, nothing with even, what do you call these supplements that are synthetic. This is with foods, healing foods that God had, the real thing. Very simple. So God wants to bless us all being involved in this missionary work, and God is going to bless in an amazing way. So I just want to encourage you to join the army of end times. Question.
I have two questions. You mentioned cooking. You mentioned sodium, and you cook with it. And then my other question is, I 3 years ago I invested in turmeric, and I took it, and it really messed up my stomach. And then I backed away, and I tried it again, and I had the same kind of reaction.
We had to do it with fats, some fats. So we do it with our smoothie that has sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, or coconut milk that we make it our own. And some people can be sensitive to, and even the best food.
Yeah. And sodium, what kind of sodium do you cook with?
We use a Celtic salt. It's a very balanced, has more than 90 minerals.
What is it?
Celtic salt.
Celtic.
Yeah, it has more than 90 minerals, so it's pretty balanced. Even people that have swelling in the legs, doesn't affect them, heart conditions. So that's the best salt. But we don't use the white salt.
In reference to the comment that he made, the turmeric, if you mix it with black pepper, found out it helps it to for the body of someone that
Black pepper.
black pepper.
And this is not a capsule. This is the actual turmeric.
Yeah.
Or you can also use a little cayenne,
Powder?
because you can use a little cayenne also. It gives you the same thing. But there's studies. 8 times better if you cook it, the turmeric, and 49 times better if you do it with fat. The absorption and the efficacy.
I use it in my smoothie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. So we have another question.
Yes, ma'am. In reference to flax oil and flax seed, is the oil considered processed?
Flaxseed?
The flaxseed oil?
Oh, flax oil. Yeah, it is processed. And it becomes rancid, the oils. Anything that is with fat, we put in the freezer. When I buy my sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, coconuts, I put it in the freezer so it won't get rancid. So oils get rancid out, and who knows how long it's been out. So we use everything natural fats. So we need,
Organic versus non-organic. What do you?
Yeah, we prefer, or definitely we do not use, if you're sick, you wanna recover, Glyphosate is one of the worst toxics you can ever eat. And glyphosates are the foods that are, most of the foods that they put. So glyphosate is a Roundup that they put into the foods to make it better and to avoid the herbicides and all that, the herbs to grow. So we prefer foods that are non-GMO or organic. We do not use anything that has GMOs because it's very toxic.
Are there any foods, just off the top of your head, that are high in glyphosate?
Yes,
Like
that will be corn. And you can hardly find any corn that is non-GMO. If you're eating corn the cob, they have GMO. And it damages it causes leaky gut, so it holes in your small intestine, and then you ended up with another disease. So corn, soy is another one. 90% of soy is glyphosate, and 90+% is corn. They put to the wheat, they put glyphosate to dry it well and do early, production. And so that's why we avoid. The devil has attacked the staple foods that benefit: soy, corn, wheat. These are our staple foods. So the devil is to destroy us. Yeah.
Also, I just want to mention that we need to be careful about the label when we read, because according to the FDA, 30% of organic food is still can be labeled as organic when there's 30% maybe a pesticide.
So we prefer, if you can, at home, start putting your herbs. I have in the back of my house, I have a parsley, I have lettuce, I have spinach, I have herbs, I have green onions. They grow so easy. You just put it in there. Put the water, I soak everything, I spread everything. So that water, I pour it into my plants. And it started with start growing some food. If you have more space, do a little garden, in your patio. If you have a grass, just make a garden, because that's what they have, the good microbiome to heal you. So it's very important. I think we ran out of time, Pastor. We ran out of time, unless you have more questions.
A couple more questions?
Okay, so I think we are done. So we hope to see you tonight at 7 p.m. And we encourage you all to join our medical mission training. We're going to start a training next Sunday. We do it at 7 o'clock Pacific time. It's 9 o'clock here. It's 2 hours live. Dr. Joyce, we have another doctor help us, Dr. Arby.
Or 6:30?
Oh, 6:30, yeah. No, graduation is 7 Pacific time tomorrow. But 6:30 for us there in the West. And so we go through the training 6 weeks. And then we have a lot of the science behind everything. We have videos how to prepare the foods, a menu how to do exactly the healthy way. So if you can, we love to see you there.
So just curious, how many of you are getting flaxseed or chia into your diet on a regular basis?
I'm going to.
Now we're going to. How many of you understand about omega-3s and omega-6s and those kinds of things? Yes? How many of you don't know about omega-3s and omega-6s?
Well, just buy the pill, the vitamin, the supplement.
Like, you just know it's good for me.
Yeah.
I just know if you're in about pain, you have a lot of inflammation, you're
Uh-huh.
high in omega-6s, right? More so than omega-3s.
Right.
It's all balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
The omega-3 and the combination of B12 supposed to reverse dementia and improve memory as well.
Yeah, so I think what has happened, with the way that conventional medicine has us thinking, right? Usually the way that conventional medicine has us thinking is that if you have a symptom, what do?
Treat symptom.
Treat the symptom. Like if you have a fever, what do?
You
Take a pill and bring that fever down, right? If you have a stomach ache, maybe some Pepto-Bismol or something like that, right? And we don't realize that whatever we're doing, like for instance, when you have a fever, it is your body's mechanism to fight disease. So when your body temperature goes up, your white blood cells' ability to chase and kill bacteria increases substantially, right? So what do you do when you bring that temperature down? You have just hijacked your body's ability to be able to take care of itself, right? And so you've not gotten rid of the root cause of the problem. What happens when you take Pepto-Bismol or Tums or some kind of acid blocker because you think you have too much acid here? Well, now you're not able to digest your protein, right? Because you needed that acid to digest your protein. That acid also serves a purpose. God made that acid so that when you take in food, do you always clean off your food really well, right? And we should, but sometimes you get things in there that are not necessarily great for you, right? And so that acid helps with that process, right? So you don't get sick and that kind of thing. So we are finding that when people are on these acid blockers for a long time, many people are on acid blockers for years, right? It will cause health problems. It will cause significant health problems you might not know for a number of years. And so there's nothing in nature that is a shortcut. You might think like, oh, I'm just taking a little bit of Tylenol right now and it'll be fine. But you don't know how that's going to affect you. And we have writings in the spirit of prophecy that tell us about the effects of drugs on the human body, how severe it is, and that God paid too high a price for us to treat our bodies so roughly. It is rough the way we are treating ourselves. And you'll find that it's not just how we do it with drugs. This is the way our society has gone, right? We're kind of rough with ourselves. So this kindness to ourselves, this is something that we do in all aspects of our lives. We do it with food. We do this with the way we talk to each other. We do it with the way we talk to ourselves. How many of you are talking to yourself nicely? Yeah? How many of you are being your best friend? Yeah? Your greatest encouragement? Yeah? See, this is the health message and the gospel message. It works together. We can't separate it. Amen? Okay, so let's close with a prayer. I think some of us, let's go home and pray about this and ask the Lord, is there anything that I'm holding on to that is an obstacle in my communication with Jesus? Is there something that I'm holding on to that I know that you've convicted? This is not something that should go into my body. But I love it. I love it. But Jesus can give you victory over it. Amen? Jesus wants to give you victory over that. Because that small thing, you may think is so small. But if you hold on to it, whatever it is that you hold on to, despite you knowing that Jesus wants you to let go, what does it become? An idol. It becomes an idol. It becomes an idol. Okay? So this is why we cannot have anything between Jesus and us. We are going, how many of you believe Jesus is coming soon? Amen. We do not want any idols in our lives, okay? All right. Our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, today as we have met here, we have shared a little bit about the health message and the power of the foods that you have given to us, of the diet, of the fresh air, and all these natural remedies that you have given to us. You have given to us just a little bit of a taste of how much you love us, Lord, and how you want to take care of us. And so, God, I just pray that the Holy Spirit would give us courage and hope, that we would have the courage and hope to try again, to do something different, to ask Jesus to give us victory over things in our lives that Satan has wanted us to keep in bondage over. And so, Lord, we don't want that anymore. We don't want to be in bondage. We don't want to be in slavery. We want to give everything to Jesus. And I just pray, Lord, that you would move upon our hearts right now, that we would be asking you, what is it, Lord, that I know that is not right, that I want to give to Jesus? And then, Lord, give us that victory. Thank you, Lord, for hearing and answering, and all of this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so we're going to come back at what, 7?
7 o'clock.
Okay, 7 o'clock.